there's two things that we can actually learn about this particular property, and that's kind of the purpose that I want to cover. The first one is actually just kind of what you're seeing in the market and how you can find pretty good deals as a real estate agent or investor if you know what you're looking for. Right now, there's sort of this movement, if you will, for these large corporations to gobble up large market share, to basically just kind of purchase anything. And for that, they're being pretty aggressive in what they're purchasing, meaning that there might be a home that is worth, $300,000 and they're buying it for $320 or $330. And then what they're doing is they're trying to go around and they're trying to flip that property and make a little bit of money off just what they bought and what they sold. Pretty standard. The issue is in this market, in order to do so, you kind of have to cut out the middleman being the real estate agent. And that's what a lot of these companies are doing, whether it be OpenDoor, Zillow, OfferPad. There's a bunch of them out there. Kind of what they want to do is they want to buy the house directly from the person that's looking to sell the home. And once they have that, well, they obviously got the home. Now they want to list that property in the market. The issue is that they list the property on the market and they're going to go ahead and pay a 3% commission to the buyer's agent. So remember, in real estate transactions, someone typically sells their house and they give it to the listing agent for 6%. And there's different numbers there, but that gets split. 50% to the selling agent, 50% to the buying agent. Well, if OpenDoor owns this house or Zillow owns this house, and again, there's a number of them are out there, what they're actually attempting to do is put this house on the market and sort of not attract a buyer's agent, but instead attract the buyer directly. And if they can track the buyer directly, then they don't have to pay the 3% to the buyer's agent, what in this case would be about $10,000. And that's a good deal, bit of profit. And also, because they could attract that buyer maybe directly, they also give some incentives if you use their mortgage company and so forth. And they basically, it's called owning that transaction. They can make money off not just the buying and the selling of the home, but other areas of the transaction itself. Well, the problem is that when you do that, and the buyers aren't coming to your website, you have houses that tend to sit on the market. And again, buyers aren't necessarily there yet to where they're going online and willing to go into a house, self-tour themselves, into basically just purchase a property without representation. There is definitely a benefit to have a real estate agent that knows the area, knows the market, knows what to look for, has good contractors, has good inspectors to ensure that you're not going and purchasing something that is you're going to regret later. Like they can tell you, hey, this isn't probably a good house, and this is the reason why. In this house is interesting because one of these major corporations purchased this house and they're trying to sell it. And kind of honestly, the comps around this, the next nearest house is just recently sold for about $370. This one's listed for $330. So it seems like a bargain, but the one for $370 was completely renovated and it had an extra bedroom. So this one has not an extra bedroom, and it has let's just say it needs some upgrades. It needs really a complete rehab. So taking in mind the person that's looking to purchase this particular property, the regular buyer, the person that this large corporation is trying to attract, honestly, they come in, they walk around this house, they're not going to buy it. It's not going to be attractive to them because they're going to look around and say, this house is a dump. It's going to need a lot of work. To a real estate investor, now you walk in this property and you look around and you go, hey, I can put in 30, 40, maybe 65,000, depending what you uncover into this property, and then flip it out, and it can actually be pretty great. The issue is that some of these large corporations aren't working with investors because they're trying to make the whole amount of money on the deal. So the point is that all these major companies that you're seeing in the news today is like they're starting to stop this idea like, hey, we're going to buy directly and we're going to sell directly, because it's just simply not working, because real estate is still a business that needs that expertise in it. You can't necessarily cut out the middleman. However, as an investor, which is the point of this video, is there's some pretty good deals. Now, take this property that, one of these major companies bought way over market value, or they bought it too much. Well, the house has been sitting in the market since March. That's like almost 6 months, or actually it is 6 months that it's been sitting in the market. And I bet you this company is going to be pretty open to selling this just to get it off their books, because quite honestly, they're going to lose big money on it, and the market's turning a little bit. It's going to be going into a buyer's market here very shortly. So if you're doing real estate investing, in some cases, some really good opportunities to find some really great deals is to actually go in and find the houses that have been sitting in the market for 6 months from these major companies and go in and make offers directly to them well below asking. And you can pick up some properties, renovate, and flip. In a market right now where flips are hard to come by, things out of auction are hard to come by, tax deed, all those are hard to come by, to find really great properties because everyone's doing it. Going and take advantage of some of these corporations that made a bad purchase, well, that could possibly, be a smart move. The second thing I want to cover, and I know this video is getting long, and then we're actually going to take a tour of this property as well, is the point is that this house as well has been sitting on the market for a good amount of time. And there's a reason for that. Yes, it's a little bit overpriced, but an agent can always go in and negotiate less of that. The problem is that, again, going back to what these companies are trying to do, they're trying to cut out the real estate agent. So they purchase this house from the buyer, whatever price, probably, at market value, a little bit higher than that, because they know that they're not going to have to necessarily pay commission because they bought it directly from the buyer, right? And they probably did, or the seller rather. From there, they probably did charge them something to say, hey, we had to renovate it or whatever it is, because that's just what these big corporations do. So let's say they bought this property. Well, now what their plan was is then to flip this to a buyer and not have to pay any commissions. And you know that because when you look in the detail of this particular house, they're only offering about a 2% commission to the buyer's agent. Remember, I go back and I explained to you that the typical house is about a 6% commission, 3 to the buyer, 3 to the seller. Well, if I'm a buyer's agent and I have a buyer and I know that I'm making money or I'm feeding my family off of the commission that I make off that house, I'm a little less inclined to take it to a company that's not very favorable to actually working with real estate agents and is only going to give me a 2% commission versus a full 3% commission. That's 1% in a house like that. It's about $3,300. And that can be a lot of money to some agents that are out there. So the result of that is kind of the intention of what this large company wanted to do, is they did want to really attract buyers agents. And if they did, they wanted to pay them a little bit less to make the numbers work. Unfortunately, this house has been sitting on the market for 6 months, and that's bad money because that's money that's not earning any interest whatsoever. So we're going to take a tour of this. We're going to present this actually to one of our investors, and because we're actually okay with taking the less commission. And we're going to go through and we're going to see if we can't get a great offer for this, rehab it up, and hopefully our investor will be sitting on a property that's worth a lot more simply because they've gone and done the work and taking advantage of this particular situation. But just keep in mind, if you are going to be listing a real estate agent, you are going to be trying to list your house. If you try to go in, let's just say this, you get what you pay for. If your real estate listing agent is only charging you 5% or 4% or something like that, what that means is they're shortcutting what they're giving the buyer's agent. Unless your listing agent is, let's say, you list it for 5% or something, you negotiate 5% instead of 6. What that means is they're probably going to give 2.5% or 2% to the selling agent. Maybe they're keeping 3, or maybe they're doing 2.5 and 2.5%. At the end of the day, while real estate's, they want to do the best for their clients, there's a lot of houses that are out there still, even in this market. You're more likely your buyer's agent is going to be more attracted to something that has a full commission versus a partial commission. And what that means, it means less demand for your house. Less demand for your house means you're probably not getting into a bidding war. Your house is going to sit, it's going to sell for less. So I'd encourage you, if you're going to hire someone to list your house, just go ahead and pay whatever their normal commission is for them, whatever they're going to charge you. Granted that their services meet. Don't try to undercut, because it ends up hurting yourself. You may save 1%. In this case, you save $3,300 or $6,600, but would be much better for this is a full commission, a line out the door of people that were interested in purchasing, a bidding war, which probably would push this house up to $10,000 more. So yeah, you earn less, you saved a little bit on the commission, but if the sales price is less, you kind of still end up a little bit negative. So think about it. And of course, for more tips, follow us. We do a lot of property tours. We do a lot of, just sharing information, what we would do, what we would buy, what we wouldn't buy, what to look for. And honestly, like your comments below, do you think some of the big names out there, are they hurting themselves? Are they buying too much? You see the big companies recently stop their buying program. Would you buy this house? Would you renovate it? What would you fix? I'd be interested in your comments below. And of course, for more content, subscribe, hit the alert button so every time we post something, you get notified of it. Let's go take a look. So walking in here, just older house, so kind of a weird setup, but we're gonna do this quick. Not a big deal. Like what I'm looking at here is I'm seeing the floors, they're a little beaten up, but they're actually solid hardwood floors, which is nice. You could easily refinish these floors, even stain them to darker. Fireplace, if you want to match the trend, what I would do, get rid of this wood, whatever this is going on right here, make that a little bit more modern, paint that white. Ceilings are a little bit low, but there's a crown molding. That's okay. Windows are actually looking pretty good. No fogging, anything like that. Looks like they're actually more so recently updated. A little bit of wear and tear, but again, refinishing the floors, not a big deal. If we had somebody come in and refinish these floors, we would actually just extend these floors all the way into the kitchen. This would actually be a completely tear out for us, 100%. This is a kitchen nook. There's your washer and dryer in there, but look at this kitchen. It's original. But believe it or not, even though this is original, these cabinets are actually solid wood cabinets. So to go in and just kind of repaint these cabinets, a nice refinishing, is not too bad. It actually would make no sense to do anything otherwise. But you come in here and repaint these cabinets, granite on top, and redo the appliances, and it would be a pretty nice kitchen. And then walk in the bathroom, wood floors throughout, toilet, sink, all of this is actually fine. You could update some of the fixtures, but not a big deal. And now let's run upstairs real quickly. Stairs are a little struggling. They need some paint, some sanding, a little bit of attention, but nothing too big. To go modern in this house, we need to replace this railing, which is kind of an old school wood railing. I would go something with a lot more modern, maybe a nice wood with iron cord rail. And then you have two bedrooms, two bedrooms, shared bath, pretty standard. This floor is a little bit different. We would pull this floor out, match it to the floors here, stain it, same thing, run the wood floor into here, take that cabinet, paint it, granite, do a little bit of tile, but actually, to be quite honest with you, not too bad. Walking in here, keeping the carpet, looks good, nothing too bad. I'd go in here, remove out these shelving units that are over here. Maybe even keep them, but the closet looks actually pretty decent. And the bathroom, same thing. Just need a piece of granite, maybe redo the flooring, put those same wood flooring in here. Tub is good. It's got tiles. You could actually leave it, but we would just tile that all the way up. So each bathroom, we're probably looking at about maybe 5 to 10,000. Two bathrooms. So really that needs a renovation. So we're talking about maybe $10,000 to $15,000 there. Wood flooring's going to be another 5 to 8,000 because we're redoing the kitchen, paint the cabinets, granite. I believe we could get out of this project for about 40,000 tops, 50,000 if we really try to go high end. But all in all, decent property, great schools, great area, and of course the exterior is pretty attractive as well. Either way, like I said, let me know your comments below. Would you buy this? Would you not buy it? I'd be interested to see what you guys think.